Welcome, it's denome. In this video, we're going to talk about if Bitcoin can go as low as $40,000. So a few days ago, I made a tweet that I think Bitcoin can actually do something like this. So we have a small move to the upside here, and then a violent move to about 40K, and then a bounce from the trend line here, and then a move to the upside once again to new all-time highs. So in this video, I want to talk about if this is actually possible, and if this actually happens, it is probably bearish for altcoins. And this level right here, if we're gonna visit 40K, that will be pretty much the bottom point for altcoins if that actually happens. So in this video, I want to briefly talk about this and show if it is actually possible or not. So let's talk about the chart first, and then we're gonna take a look at some of the fundamental stuff. So this is the chart of Bitcoin, and as you can see, I made the line from my tweet a little bit how do I say, narrower. It was like this thickness before, but anyway, this was the prediction here, and I missed this with about a few days, but we had this peak which pretty much aligned perfectly with the top here, and then we had a violent move to the downside, and from here we can either go sideways and then up, or we can actually come and visit this 40,000 level. And now let's talk about why I think it can go to 40,000. So let's go to the weekly view. So these charts here, these are my how do I say, long-term trend channels, and here you can see that almost perfectly the whole 2017 run is fitting to these different lines here. So this is just something I copied from another YouTuber and just adjusted the levels so that they made more sense to me. So here, as you can see, with every bull run that we had in the past, we had a solid trend line here in the yellow, which was respected multiple times during the bull run. And here on 2020, 2021, we have a similar trend line here as well. It is not as aggressive as last time, but it is respecting this line nonetheless. So if we go and zoom back in, you can see that this is the same trend line here. So if we go and visit that trend line, it would just make a lot of sense. And in my opinion, that's why I believe it can go to 40K in the worst scenario. I don't think the bull run is ending anytime soon, or at least in the next 2 months. I think even until summer we have a lot more room to grow, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, this is the trend line here, and now let's go back to the chart here. You can see perfectly that this yellow trend line here, once we basically broke through that, then we had this violent move to the upside, and we went and touched this trend line here. Then we came back and touched the bottom trend line, and from there we went back actually above this yellow trend line here, and from there we're just bouncing on top of that trend line. So for some reason, this trend line that I drew here, it is actually being respected quite well actually, and also it is aligned with the support line here. So if we come and visit the support line and this trend line, to me it would just make a lot of sense. So for that reason, I believe that 40K is definitely a possibility, and if we go down to 40K, I think that will be pretty much the bottom where Bitcoin can go in the short term. And from there we can go to the upside, and if we go to the weekly view again, I think the next line of where we're gonna head is about $100,000, and from there, previously, if we go with the similar things that we had in the past, we go basically just right past 100,000 and go to the top of the channel here. So in this case, that would be about $250,000 or $200,000 would be the top of this bull run, and that would happen in May 2021. So obviously, my prediction for this bull run is much shorter than on many other YouTubers' mind. Many people say that this bull run will last until October or November this year, or even until 2022. So of course, I have no crystal ball, but just following this logic that we have here, I think the top will be somewhere here. So June, May of this year. So the bull run could end quite rapidly, but again, just we have so much innovation, so much adoption for crypto that this bull run could actually just keep continuing to go upwards as well. So I just have to analyze the situation when we get there. So now let's talk about some of the fundamental stuff where we are currently. So if we take a look at the fundamentals, pretty much the only bearish sign that I was able to see is looking at the Bitcoin wallets, the size of more than 1,000 Bitcoin. Because if we actually zoom in here on this chart, you can see that on 2016, the size of the wallets that had more than 1,000 Bitcoin started to go down, and then it went up again, and then it went down and up again, and all the way throughout basically the last phase of this bull run. The number of wallets which had more than 1,000 Bitcoin just started to trend downwards all throughout the last phases of this bull run. And then we had this accumulation zone here, and then people really started to pick up the Bitcoin, basically starting from 2018 here. For now, if we actually zoom in here, let's take the zoom tool here, let's zoom out here. You can see that the wallets that had more than 1,000 Bitcoin, they were here at top for 2,488, and currently it dropped down to 2,365. So that's about 5% decline of these whale addresses. So whales have been selling to this, and for now it doesn't look like whales are accumulating Bitcoin at this moment in time. So whales are dumping while retail is actually FOMOing into Bitcoin and crypto assets. So whales are dumping, institutions are probably buying still, as far as I know. And if we take a look at the total amount of Bitcoin on exchange reserves, this was the spike that just caused this massive dump, that whales deposited a lot of Bitcoin to exchanges and started to sell it. But now the Bitcoin is actually starting to go back into private wallets. So this just looks to me that the whales are selling. But if we take a look at any other wallet address here, let's take a look at the addresses, sorry about that, the addresses that have more than 100 Bitcoin. These addresses are actually not selling. So this is pretty straightforward. And addresses that have more than 1 Bitcoin, this was another that was trending upward still. So all in all, it just looks like the massive whales have been selling while everyone else is on the buy side. So I don't know which one will win, but anyway, if the whales keep selling, then the price can even dump lower and go sideways. But I think the institutions will come and save us once again, and then we will be headed to new all-time highs here once again. One more thing that I want to emphasize or say here as a final thought is that where we are currently here, I think it is exactly the same situation that we had over here on 2017. So if we take a look at what happened on 2017 during this time, you can see that we were on this trend line here. We went above this trend line, and then we went below the trend line and basically just touched this yellow trend line here. And from there, we had a violent bounce and the final phases basically of this bull run, which lasted from September 2017 to December or January 2018. So from here until here, it was a 3-month move. And currently, this looks like we're in a perfectly similar situation, that we went above the yellow trend line here, and then we went, actually now we're touching the trend line. So if we go below it and touch this trend line here, that would perfectly imitate exactly what happened here on 2017. And from there, we just have the final phases of the bull run. So that's just looking at the chart, what could happen. But again, anything can happen in this market. It doesn't have to go like this, but this is just something that logically speaking makes the most sense in my opinion. So it can just go sideways from here, and the alts have already bottomed. we don't know exactly, but this is just something that I just want you to be prepared for. I currently already bought a lot of the dips. So what I've been buying is ACS, a cryptos coin. So if you take a look at this one, the market cap is $37 million. This is similar to Auto Farm. And if we take a look at the chart here, the chart is actually down by 75%. The next token that I've been buying is Auto token. It is currently $4,600. The market cap is 63 million. And if we take a look at the chart here, you can see that it had this really nice run here, and then this moved to the downside. But if we compare the market cap to total value locked on A cryptos, you can see the total value locked is $322 million. So the total value locked compared to market cap is about 9-to-1 ratio. So for this reason, I think A cryptos is a little bit undervalued. So this is something that you could already start to buy into. I always, during these smallish bear turns, I buy things at increments. So I buy when things go down, and when they go down more, I buy more. If it goes down even more, then I buy even more. So that's what I've been doing. And currently I have about 10% in stable coins. And if we go and visit that 40K level, I will be buying the altcoin dumps that happen at that time. And finally, if we take a look at the Auto Farm, you can see the total value locked is $1.4 billion compared to that $63 million that it had on here. So for that, the ratio is actually about 20-to-1, even higher than that. But this is not the real market cap. So what you have to do here is actually go to Binance Smart Chain Scanner or the Explorer, and you can see that the A cryptos market cap is real. But if we search for Auto, you can see that the market cap here is actually $85 million, not $63 million. I don't know why it's different on CoinGecko, but 85 millions compared to $1.4 billion, that's about 16-to-1 ratio. So in my mind, I think this play makes a lot of sense, and the potential upside here is at least 3x in my opinion for Auto, and A cryptos it's similar to that. So these are pretty much the top picks that I've been just averaging into during this downturn. Anyway, that's my thoughts where Bitcoin could be headed. I think it makes a lot of sense to visit this area. By the way, if we take a look at the simple moving average, MA50, and we take a look at the daily chart, you can see that this is actually also aligned at $40,000. And this is the line that we just came here also to visit on January of 2021 as well. So just to visit this area again, I think also if you take a look at the, let's try it out. I did not take a look at this before the EMA, before the making this video. But if we take a look at the exponential moving average for 20 days, no, that's not it. Let's take a look at the 50 days. We're currently just below the 20-day exponential moving average, but 50-day exponential moving average, it is also aligned with the 40K. So I don't know if we're gonna visit it. We visited here on January, and we are just respecting this line all throughout this bull run. So just to visit it once again would make a lot of sense, to shake out the weak hands, to shake out the leveraged long positions and so forth, so we can reset all the indicators once again. Anyway, that's my analysis for Bitcoin for going forward. I just wanted to give you the heads up that we might still see a little bit more downside. The altcoins could come even lower, but I also wanted to share some opportunities here as well that I saw. But there are many opportunities on altcoins. Altcoins have just been bleeding for the last 4 days basically. So it could be a little bit more pain before the upside, but just wanted you to be prepared for that. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next video.